You ask a question, and within seconds, the machine fires back. It gives you perfect grammar, neat bullet points, and dense walls of text that look entirely authoritative. The AI's polished, unwavering tone poses a specific risk. It effectively masks a completely mediocre response. These systems are trained to produce plausible, helpful-sounding language. If you ask a broad question, the default behavior is to hand you a safe, average overview. It is exactly the kind of answer a competent generalist might give if you stopped them in a hallway. Most users make one specific mistake. They ask the AI once, read that generalized first draft, and accept it as the final answer. It is highly convenient to just copy and paste that first response and move on. But getting anything of actual value requires treating that initial output with deep suspicion. The polished paragraphs you get on the first try are never the end of the work. They are merely the opening statement. The real insight only arrives when you start to interrogate it. You do not need to know the correct answer to improve the machine's output. You just need to know how to apply friction to that first draft. You start by asking it for the counter-argument. You literally type, "What's the strongest objection to this answer?" The AI drops its diplomatic tone, and that massive, generic block of text shrinks down into the sharp perspective of a critic. Then ask for the hidden assumption. The machine looks underneath its foundation, exposing the biases embedded in your original prompt. Exposing those assumptions often reveals that the question you asked wasn't the one you actually needed answered. You might be trying to optimize a process that shouldn't even exist in the first place. The machine provides its greatest value by forcing you to confront your own blind spots. There is a specific psychological trap in how these systems communicate. They project equal, unwavering certainty on every single claim they make, regardless of the supporting evidence. To strip away that illusion, you use the confidence check. You explicitly ask the model, what in this answer are you least sure about? Look at this chart of the machine's claims. When forced to weigh its certainty, the uniform confidence shatters. Solid facts stay grounded, but logical leaps hollow out. The AI flags the context it lacks, highlighting exactly where it made assumptions. A response that tells you exactly where its evidence ends is infinitely more trustworthy and actionable than a confidently delivered guess. These follow-ups are powerful tools, but human intent can easily corrupt them. Looking at this documentation, we see a specific failure state. Users badger the AI, rejecting counter-arguments to force their desired conclusion. The system complies, gladly feeding you confident-sounding noise. The process ceases to be inquiry and devolves into manipulation. Pushing the model on a subject it knows nothing about leads to hallucination. It invents structural, convincing lies to fill the void. Follow-up prompts are meant to excavate real signals hidden in the data. They cannot pull facts out of bad faith or an empty database. Once you have tested the arguments and exposed the blind spots, you arrive at the final, uncompromising step, the compression. You ask the AI, what's the one sentence I should remember? This forces the machine to discard the hedging and commit to a single claim. If the preceding conversation lacked substance, this prompt yields a bland, useless summary. But if you did the work to challenge the draft, it delivers a sharp, actionable directive. Reaching that level of clarity requires actively fighting against the machine's strict programming to remain polite, safe, and overly broad. A machine will never freely hand over deep insight on the first try. You must extract it.